Hey Capricorn, welcome to your deep career read for the end of June into the beginning of July. Let's say that time frame. We have a lot going on. So I just thought for this month I would separate out the career and the relationship reads. So this is going to be for Capricorn, especially rising, and I want to say rising sun, yes, 10th house and 6th house placements as well, right? So those of you who know your chart, Capricorn, 10th house is career, second house is how you actually make money within that career, sixth house is day-to-day work environment. Those of you who are entrepreneurs or you have your own business or your own gig, gig within a particular career, I always also look at 5th house, 8th house, and 11th house placements. I am thinking about putting together a webinar to kind of walk through all the signs and all those houses so you could sort of piece together your soul purpose, what it is you should be doing, how you show up at work, what the right thing is for you. All right, so let's get into lunar. So listen, Cap, that June 5th lunar eclipse in Sag, in your 12th house of closure, could sweep away or has swept away anything not aligned with your highest calling, right? And it really is about letting it go. Because in the meantime, Saturn, your ruler, is retrograde in your money house all month. So you want to take time out to reorganize your plans and your finances. You're going to be really glad you did. Because when benefic Jupiter and Pluto, which is all about transformation, meets up in your sign on June 30th, this is very likely to shift you on a whole new path, a whole new trajectory. And the biggest goal of this June, Capricorn, for you, clear space for something new. Clear space for something new. And I want to say, not only the rest of June, but into July. The conversations that are happening in the sky right now, they're not going to be resolving themselves or closing up until, I want to say, like mid-August, between Venus and Pluto and Saturn. There's a lot going on, right? But you're going to be reassessing who the most important people in your life are right now. And when Mercury turns retrograde in Cancer, in that partnership house, it's that 7th house. So it's got to do with your personal relationships, yes. And I'm not making this about relationships. I'm going to keep it about career. But that house also does deal with our business partnerships and people who we have shared goals with. So it could be our employees, our employers, our business partner, but people who we have the shared soul purpose with. That's 7th house energy. So you're going to need to be very careful about what you reveal to people, and don't rush in to sign anything on the dotted line just yet. If you have to, really have to, please make sure you really read the fine print. As we always have to do with when Mercury goes retrograde. A home-based business could really go very well for those of you involved in that space from June 27th, particularly to January 6th. Because Mars is going to spend the rest of 2020 in that 4th house for you guys, right? And the 4th house is home and roots, it's family, it's the house of home, right? I mean, that's the 4th house, it's Cancer. So, you're going to have a lot going on there. So home-based businesses are really going to be actually anything that you're starting now as far as a home-based business is going to go really, really well. Living with relatives or roommates, those of you in that space, make sure you have a very clear division of space and labor to keep the peace under your roof right now. That's just a little sidebar that I'm getting. Little sidebar. Okay, so let's pull some Lenormand. Lenormand looks like tarot, guys, but it's not. It's a different system. The cards speak to each other, so we don't read them in isolation. Wow. Nice. I like this for you, Cap. Yes. I love it. Let's read these first, and then we'll pull some more cards. But I like this. This is the child, obviously. So this is not calling you a baby. But this is saying that there's something this is the bridge. So we have the bridge is communicating with the child, which is the ship is communicating with the bridge, and then we have the sun as the final outcome. Beautiful. So what I have is you're going to be getting involved in some sort of project that's really going to speak to your 5th house energies. And what I mean by that is 5th house is the house of fun. It's also the house of children and our childlike tendencies. And it's what it's what makes us feel like in that sweet spot, that flow when we're doing something, because we so strongly resonate with it. It's getting in touch with what it is that we really want and love. It's not doing something just to do it. It's not doing something to make a buck. It's doing something because it matters to you and because you really enjoy doing it. You really love doing it. So I really like this. Now, as far as the bridges, this indicates transitions. There is also indication here of those of you who are in a space where you're needing to finalize a contract, it going very well. If you're in that kind of space, Capricorn, okay? If you're if you're going to be signing any sort of business deal, any sort of business contract, I feel like if it's been, especially if it was set in motion before Mercury went retrograde in Cancer, this is a great energy this month to actually sign something that's been put into motion already before the Mercury retrograde. I hope that makes sense to you guys. But we have bridges. Bridges is all about transitions. It's about moving from one space to the other. For some of you, this is going to mean actually bridging a divide between you and somebody who you've been in business with, or bridging a divide between you and somebody you used to be in business with, where you're doing things differently. For others of you, it's going to be just simply transitioning out of what you were doing into something new, but again, something that really speaks to the child in you. And then we have the ship. So the ship is all about a business a business trip, dealing with a foreign land, dealing with a foreign culture, or it could, for some of you, also mean doing something very differently, meaning this really does pretty much always, right, in the Lenormand, almost always have to do with business, which is really good. And it has to do with doing business with either with a foreign land, a foreign entity, foreign from you, or different from what you've been doing. And I like where you see where the nose of the ship is, because this is how Lenormand goes, right? For those of you who are tarot readers, I know a lot of you are tarot readers. If you're not familiar with the Lenormand deck, how they communicate with each other. So the nose of the ship, we want to look at the next card and look what we got, guys. Beautiful, the Sun. The only little caveat with this is you want to make sure to keep your ego in check. You don't want to get cocky in any way, but there is a lot of really good energy coming in for you. And not only is it really good and very productive, and it's definitely going to have a very positive ultimate financial outcome. You're going to love what you're doing. You're going to love what you're doing. But I do sense this bridge. The bridge is very important here. So it's allowing a transition. It's allowing something to happen. It's allowing something to happen in the way that it needs to happen. There's no rushing here of anything. There's no rushing. But I feel like you are rushing. Does that make sense? It's like the hurry up, slow down. Take your time, but hurry up. You know what I mean? All right, let's pull Sacred Rebel. See what we get from here. And then we'll pull, throw some Astro Dice, pull Celtic Cross Spread with the Chakra Tarot. Let's see what we get here for you guys. Spirals of Manifestation. Let me show that to you first. Nice. We like any sort of manifesting card. Right? A career read for sure. So you're in the midst of a spiral of manifestation is, really what this is saying, Cap. Yeah, I mean, something is coming in, even if you think it's very far away from you. The truth is something's coming in that's been coming towards you all along. Kind of like, oh God, and we really are we not in this just incredibly destiny-driven year? Yes, we really are. It's been coming to you all along. There's something that is coming toward you right now, whether that's position, that job, cultivating that business, creating that business, crystallizing something. It's meant for you. If it's on your heart right now and it's in your mind, it's really, really good. And the truth is sometimes we feel the farthest away from what we want, when it's actually a lot closer than we think. And you have to really keep your faith here, because you keep working on your progress. And you really want to forget about this idea of, well, right now I don't see it, or I have to see it to believe it kind of thing, right? And you also really don't want to give into any energies, anybody in your life who's telling you that, oh, this should have happened already, you should have done that, or that failed, or you're gonna fail, or because those energies are just suffering from like a lack of patience and understanding, as well as really an arrogant assumption, quite frankly, that their notion of timing is somehow superior to the greater divine timing at play in life, right? So just be at goodwill with yourself and the universe, because everything is unfolding exactly as it's supposed to. And this is also a reminder, that there's no point to rushing to the bus stop, Capricorn. If you're too early, guess what? It's wasting your time. It's wasting your time. You're better off living your life right now at a more appropriate pace and just get there at the right time. You don't need the anxiety that comes from rushing towards your destiny. Just try, if you're in a space of a lot of anxiety right now, and I get it, a lot of people are, try not to worry so much, you know, because you will attract what you want and need so much more enjoyably if you could just, you know, kind of roll with the punches here. And I feel like you are going to have to do that this particular month, particularly just because of the energies in the sky. So this kind of supports that for me. Yeah, so let's get into pulling the, let's pull the Chakra Tarot first to get your, if I can move these cards out of the way. Okay, let's pull the Chakra Tarot for your Celtic cross spread. We get an idea of what's been going on, where you're at right now, and where everything is going. See what kind of energies. We'll pull clarifiers if we need. No big. Okay. Okay. Where's the imbalance? A lot of deep introspection. Oh, I like the Three of Cups. We have the Eight of Coins right now. Okay, Princess of Swords. So, somebody was either very dishonest. Oh, I like the Fool. I like the Fool. This is great. I like the Fool, and I feel like the world is going to help you get to the Fool. Very nice. Putting in that beautiful hard work. Three of Coins, Three of Cups. Oh, am I liking that? Seven of Wands, very healthy. To be honest with you, I like the Seven of Wands. I really do. In the reverse even. Because it's like, oh, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not defending myself. I'm not defending what I want. I'm not defending what I believe. I'm not defending any of that. Let's see what the Astro Dice have to say. What we want to need to focus on, Sagittarius. Okay. Venus. Fourth house, right? What did I say about the fourth house, right? I feel like stuff is going to be happening in this fourth house, right? But it's really right now having to do with your career. Really is a time to kind of like nestle in and lick your wounds and spend some time retreating into your own private world and get in touch with makes you feel very safe and very loved and what it is that you really, really want, right? Because that's the fourth house energy. It's like, picture like the cup of hot chocolate, you know, and snuggly slippers and, you know, and like, the loving parent and, you know, the hot soup, that cozy kind of thing. You really want to kind of get in touch with that right now. We have Sagittarius. Sagittarius has to do with your belief system, and you have to notice where you've built up walls and borders in your life, Capricorn, and really get the curiosity and courage together to see where you've been creating or telling yourself any sort of false narratives about yourself or about your career, about somebody in your career, and really get in touch with that. And you have to have a lot of faith and optimism in this healthy questioning. And don't be afraid of the answers. You know, you really need to ask the questions. It's very important, really. And Venus, I mean, Venus is fabulous. Venus is all about, you know, feeling really good and confident about what you're involved in. Venus is also a money planet, okay? And, you know, while it rules love, when it comes to career, it's like loving what you do and making money because of it. So, I really like that. So that's really positive to me. And then we have, let's pull a astro card. So somebody wants to come out on the top. Cancer. Guys, stop with the synchronicities here. Cancer's the fourth house. Who's doing like a home-based something, right? I mean, we have a lot of fourth house is like popping in your energy and astrology and the astro dice and the astro card. Okay. Yeah, nice. Nice. And even in the child card, it's like that, what makes you feel that way, you know? Okay, anyway, coming into this energy right now, we have the Princess of, you dealing with the Princess of Swords. Now, this could be something that happened before the COVID situation. This could have happened last week. It's going to be something very different for each of you. But regardless, this tells me that whenever we have swords in reverse, this can indicate something not coming to fruition, so you're not getting the thumbs up on a project. This could have to do with unhealthy communication, right? Coming in, dealing with a difficult energy, because it's a princess. Princess is a court card. So the court cards, this could be you, another person, or just a general influence. So if it's somebody you're dealing with, I feel like you were dealing with somebody who was not very honest, who was rather manipulative, who lied through omission. This could have been you, who was not 100% honest, who was holding back information from somebody. Or this could just be the general influence where there was this feeling like there was just very bad communication and something ended up falling apart at the seams because of it. And this could be also like, let's say you had a project, slated on the calendar and there was supposed to be money coming in. Let's say this was, this could be, you were supposed to open up a business, right? Or you did open up a business and then all of a sudden everything had to stop. So it was like, it's like this eclipsing away of this ability to push forward in the realm of reality, because swords are communication and everything, but it's also reality. It's reality as well, right? So this is something that you were dealing with, excuse me, in your past. It's Taurus and Gemini, right? So when Taurus is an earth energy, it's pentacle energy, so by Venus, right? So this tells me that whatever information was not coming in, whatever information was handled in a healthy way, whatever was not coming in was impacting your money, it was impacting your finances, right? Because Gemini is a sword energy. It has to do with communication. So right now, currently, we have the devil reverse that's crossed by the moon. The devil is better in the reverse, actually, than in the upright, because this shows the imbalance coming out into the forefront. Now, I have to tell you, in a lot of my private readings, just the career readings in general, the devil energy I am feeling, because it's imbalanced, as I always say in my readings, the whole world is imbalanced right now. So it really could just be a general energetic influence. And you're going to know how it relates to you. This could be a person who has heavy imbalance that you're dealing with within your career, who is very greedy, is very lustful, like kind of lustful in their greed, having to do with money. This could be somebody who's very ego-driven, very egocentric, somebody who is just all kinds of imbalanced, very irresponsible. That could be all part of this, right? Because it's whatever's going to create imbalance in the dynamic. So that's if it's a person. This could also be you realizing imbalances within yourself, realizing that, you know what, I was giving everything to that, and I just can't do that anymore. This could be some of you realizing where you've been sabotaging yourself. Now, if you don't resonate with either of those, if you don't resonate with yourself as having any area of imbalance, worth noting. Now, none of us are balanced all the time, right? I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, and you guys know, this is you guys, right? It's the devils. This is you guys upside down. Which I wish there was a cute goat card that could be you guys, goats, G-O-A-T. I just really do wish that, but the devil is what it is for you guys, regardless. If you don't resonate with it as your own serious imbalance or somebody else's serious imbalance, guys, this could just be the world right now, and we are in a state of imbalance. It's like, are we open? Are we not open? Oh, we're open a little bit. Oh, we're open to like 30%, 50%. And obviously it's going to depend where you live, because every part of the world is in a different space with that. So that could be it. But then we have the moon energy, and the moon is I feel, and it's what you feel in private, deep inside yourself. Now you want to be careful, because this is often the narrative that you tell yourself, and sometimes, and this is everyone, this is not only you, we all, because of the human condition, can have the tendency to tell ourselves those false narratives, right? And as I was mentioning with the astro dice, and I'm not saying you are, but you want to be on the lookout to second guess yourself. Only because we are in the season of lack of clarity, right? And a lot of times when we convince ourselves of a certain story having to do, let's just say in this situation with either career or a person in our career, we want to make sure that it's based in reality and that we're not telling ourselves any false narratives. Because the thing is with the moon, while it's great to feel and be in touch, in the moon energy, we're not talking about things. So there's no one, there to come in and check us. And give us a reality check and saying, you know what, that's not really how that went. Or are you sure about that perspective? You know what I mean? It's like we're our own counsel when we're in the moon energy. And it's feeling and knowing that things are sort of under the surface that we can't see. Now, this could also be a message to you that somebody you're dealing with is being very secretive in a way that could be very manipulative, Capricorn, where they're not telling you exactly what they're feeling and what their plans are. And they have something up their sleeve. So if you're dealing with a business partner and you're getting a vibe that something's not okay, pay attention. Pay attention. Now I have the crowning energy is nice. I mean, we have the 3 cups, Mercury and Cancer. So there's communication that's going to be coming in that's going to make you feel a little safer, more comfortable about about your career, about your job, about your business, right? There is going to be some sort of communication coming in where you're going to say, okay, all right, thank God. All right, we can move forward on this, right? But at the same time, we do in the foundation, we have the Eight of Coins energy. So some of you may have taken a financial hit, as the foundation. This is Sun in Virgo. So the sun, you want to think about the sun energy wherever it shows up as laying the landscape for growth. So it's not that lucky little leprechaun, because a lot of people think that about the sun energy because it's so pretty and bright, right? But a lot of people think it's like, oh, a pot of gold is going to be at the end of my bed when I wake up for me to step into. And it's not like that. But the sun does create the landscape for there to be growth, right? So it's where the Eight of Coins is actually beautiful energy, because it's about whatever you put your hard work into, you're going to see the benefit of it and you're going to be able to grow. But when we have it in reverse, this indicates frustration having to do with money. This indicates frustration in being able to move yourself forward in something. So I do get a very frustrated vibe from you having to do with that. Now, interesting, we have the Seven of Swords energy for you. So this is the card of thievery. Now, you're going to know if you're being dishonest about anything. That's the obvious interpretation. I want to say the traditional interpretation of the Seven of Swords is the card of thievery. And because it represents you and only you in this Celtic cross spread, this would be you as the one who's being dishonest. And you would know that. Now for the rest of you, because I'm not suggesting that that's the only interpretation, those of you who've been watching me know that I know this is a moon in Aquarius energy. Moon as I feel Aquarius is different than what I'm showing you. So there is this false mask that's being worn. And this is not always for malice, guys. This is very often to buy time, to do what needs to be done. This often shows up as trying to play somebody at their own game, or needing to play somebody at their own game. So if you're dealing with an energy in your career where you feel like there's a little manipulation, you're doing everything you can to protect yourself, but you're not letting them know a thing, right? So you're kind of working behind the scenes, underneath the surface, in that moon energy, right? I mean, that could be you. That moon energy could be you. But it's not giving away what it is that you're really feeling when it comes to your career, and it's really keeping something under wraps. So for some of you, this could be you knowing that you're going to leave a position, but you're not talking about it yet. You're acting as if, right? You're going in and you're doing what you need to do, and you have this planning that you're trying to crystallize on the side. For others of you, this could have to do with some sort of work, some sort of arrangement that you're involved in, and you are vibing that you don't like where it's going, and you're doing what you need to protect yourself, but you're acting as if, and I feel like, if it is that, you're doing this because you really don't know in a solid crystallized form what your next step is. You have an idea. There's a very heavy echoing. You have it etched out, but it's not crystallized into the 3D yet exactly. And a lot of that may be because it's very hard to make a business decision in a world where we have no idea how it's going to be ticking along tomorrow, right? It's very difficult to forecast, from a business perspective, right? Are we not all like those of us in the stock market? Are we not all like completely seasick right now? I mean, and it's just the general vibes, right? Of what's happening out in the world. Speaking of the world, here we go. Now, this is an external energy to you. This is a Saturn energy. So Saturn, your ruler, is the external energy that's going to be influencing you. Now, what I like about this is Saturn is all about work, right? I mean, Saturn is your ruler, and you guys are the sign of work. You guys are. If you don't know that, now you know it. You guys are the workers, right, of the zodiac. So when we have the world is the gift on the other side of that. So externally, I mean, the world really, there's something so unbelievably serendipitous out there for you, Capricorn. It's crazy, and it's so destiny driven. It's an outside energetic influence that's pulling you. You're being pulled. You're going to know what I'm talking about right now. If this resonates with you, you're being pulled on a path that is so unbelievably benefic. And what I love about the world, people get very surprised when they find out that it's connected to Saturn in astrology. Well, because Saturn, even though it gets a bad rap, everybody says how malefic it is. It's not. It's the gift. If you can make it through the Saturn energies, Yeah, it's hard to go through. It is. And I say this, and I know a lot of you come after me for it. It's challenging, yes, but the gifts are on the other side that last decades and decades and decades long. And that's why it's associated to the world, because it's the world. It's those long-lasting, being where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing. Energy is really nice, right? Your fear is the Three of Coins. Your fear right now is about building, right? Mars and Capricorn. This is, I call this the architect card, right? You're afraid of not being able to build. You're afraid of not being able to accumulate the wealth that you need in order to have the life that you want, right? I call it the architect. What do architects do? They come and they draw the blueprint and they give it to the builder, right? To build the building, to build the whatever it is, to build. And you're just afraid of not having what you need to build what it is that you want to build. And I get that that's what I'm getting. Your fear position is what the cards are saying. Now, we have the Seven of Wands as the final outcome of this situation. And you're going to be in a space where you just don't want to defend yourself anymore. Seven of Wands in reverse. The Seven of Wands in general is you drawing a line in the sand. It's Mars and Leo. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what's necessary. This is what I desire, right? And in the reverse, it's just like you feel like nobody's even listening to you. It's like what you want, need, desire, what's necessary, nobody's listening to you. For whatever reason. You're not being heard, and you're in a space where you're like, I don't want to defend myself anymore. I'm not going to defend what I know to be the right way. What I know to be the right thing for my career, the right thing for my future. Now, for some of you, I'm getting very strong. A lot of you are going to be resonating with this, where you may want to change paths, or even within the same career, you might want to just change direction or do something different. And you're getting some hassle, either from people that you work with or people in your life. But, going back to the Lenormand, you're in a space, and going back to the astrology, you guys are in a space of transition right now. And you're being pushed and called to do what really resonates with you. And the bottom line is, I can't tell you guys how many people I've been working with. This is no exaggeration. I'm going to say within the past 2 weeks, at least a dozen people, which I think is a lot, who are in the medical industry as doctors, and they want to get into the spiritual community. They want to leave medicine altogether and get into the spiritual community right now. Well, guess what? That's going to have a hit on your wallet, right? But you have to be prepared for that. And there are going to be other ways of making money that are going to come to you if that's your true soul purpose. Things just end up happening and working out. It's amazing. But that's a very mundane example, but that's kind of a vibe I'm getting, where you might be doing something that other people might not agree with, but you know what? You're like, I got to focus on my future. Beautiful, the Fool, I love it. This is a Uranus energy. The Uranus rules the future. This is a pioneering energy. I see you getting into something that's very pioneering in your life. Now, for some of you, I do want to say, because Uranus does rule technology, right? Just, keeping it real. Uranus does rule technology. Dealing with foreign lands. We got the 4th house home energy very heavy here. So some of you guys may be doing some sort of at-home business, right? Dealing with foreign lands, foreign cultures. But I digress. The Fool always means getting on going into uncharted territory. That's uncharted for you, at least. And it's something brand spanking new, and taking a calculated risk and it going really well. This is a very, just a very blessed kind of energy, where you're going to take the chance and you're going to really enter onto a new path for yourself, and it's going to go really, really well. So I like this reading for you, Capricorn. I really do. Be patient, because stuff's going to be popping up by the end of the month. And I really do. I do want to say, and Mars is going to be rolling out all the way through to January. We're all going to be going through a lot of changes. Yeah. So, good stuff. Thank you so much for joining me, Cap. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.